So starting a toe massage with the very tip of the big toe is a great way to release the ends of the bands. So the bands are physical tightness that you can feel, but what makes them tight could be termed as blockages in the flow of energy, for want of a better word in English. So working this point is a very important point. It took me many, many years to figure out how important the tip of the toe is. So I'm using a GoPro camera here. So of course I'm still, experimenting with it all, but yeah, I haven't had a lot of chance to do videos, just with the birth of my son. So he was born about 2.5 weeks ago, F from James Raynor. But here I got a little chance just to do a bit of work on my toe while I'm waiting for stuff for him to dry in the dryer, actually. So I'm working down that band. Yeah, it's very precise, and I think it's a great thing to learn when you're doing self-massage, is to figure out if you can feel these bands. So using something like a chopstick, this is a Japanese-style chopstick with a round edge on it. So you don't want something too pokey, too sharp. You don't want something too broad because you can't feel it because it's quite narrow at this stage. So you're wanting to feel the very ends of this band. And they go right into the very tip of the toe, and then they come along. And it's quite intense. Like I'm actually working myself right here up near my pain threshold. Interestingly enough, you'd think, that it wouldn't hurt that much, but it does. If it's charged, I call it charged, for want of a better word. Again, we're using words. English doesn't have great words to describe the subtle energies of the body. But we'll do what we can with the English words. So working this what I call like a charge in this band of tension. This is what I call the big toe belly band. I have a bunch of charts come out actually recently with the bands on them. They've all been printed, and if you want one, let me know. Can be very intense. It's a great thing to do to learn good massages, to work on yourself, to find your tension. You'll be able to then work better with other people, knowing what you're feeling, how intense it feels, how to moderate your pressure, how to work right at the threshold of the person. Here I'm just showing that it's a blunt, it's a round edge. That's really important skills to develop, is to understand what you're doing from the inside. And subtle movements. You can see I'm moving ever so slightly, but they're intense. You need to also breathe. I'm actually, I'm voicing over this, but during the time I was working on myself there, I was doing a lot of deep breathing as well. And you can change the angle. See, I slightly changed the angle of my toe. It's incredible. This took me, like I say, 25, 30 years to really understand the importance of bands and the ends of bands. I used to just be working big muscles all the time, like I was taught, when I first learned massage. But a lot of the time they wouldn't release because they were anchored in the ends of these bands. So here I'm following this big toe belly band right up around the ankle, and I can, it often holds right near the ankle. Then I'm starting again at the very tip of the big toe. This is such an important point. Energetically, it's incredible. You can see I was taking a deep breath there. That's why the camera moves. So, it's getting the hang of using a GoPro, of course. So a lot of it's holding and breathing. And just feeling that energy that you're deep breathing into and letting go. That creates tension, creates all these joint problems and muscle problems and that sort of thing. So yeah, one of the things about using a GoPro is if you deep breathe, you end up moving the camera. So I spend about 70% of my time on the very tips of toes or fingers or thumbs these days, because if you do a good job here, then the rest of the band becomes really easy because its anchor points are removed. And it's quite amazing. I mean, it's been an amazing journey to figure this stuff out, actually. And a lot of it was trying to release things that didn't let go, and then having to come further and further down and figuring out subtleties of bands and things. So You can definitely feel it on a physical level by this stage. Yeah, it's that fine art of just working up to what you can handle, basically. You can use a bigger, like, Thai massage tool here as well, as the band becomes bigger, but sometimes I use the more pointed one, but I just use it lighter because it gets quite intense. And just following it along. I think patience and perseverance are two of the most important qualities in a massage therapist. And when you look at it from our point of view, Raynor massage, our goal is to find and get rid of all of the chronic residual tension in the body. And how we do that is to work, using the deep breathing from the inside, and then using, working these bands of tension from the very tips of the toes, tips of the fingers, working along and moving it out. So we're pushing it up, pushing this energy that creates tension. Again, for want of a better word, energy is not always an easy word. It's a broad word, but as I say, English is limited. It's like, interestingly enough, the Eskimos have hundreds of words for snow, whereas we only have a few, powder in this. But people who understand the subtle energies have a lot more. Chinese and Japanese and Thai people have different words. So really feeling that. And again, if you don't believe me, have a feel of it yourself. Get yourself a chopstick or even a knitting needle or something and start to feel these points. And it's not just about, it's not about, ooh, it hurts. It's about finding blockages in this energy and breathing into them and letting them go. And if you want to do a thorough excavation of your body, then master the art of working your toes and fingers, and spend the time, because it takes time, especially if you've got a lot of tension there. It's going to take some time, and how long it takes depends on how much you're working as well. Like if you're working right up to your threshold of what you can handle, you'll get rid of the tension quicker. But it's again, it's when I say what you can handle, it's about what you can breathe into and let go of, because this is about finding tension, stirring it up, and breathing it out and letting go. Okay, so it's a great practice to do on yourself. You'll learn a lot by working on yourself. And like I said, taking that time and just doing it properly. And you can see this joint here is very, very important. A lot of people get very tight in there, especially as they get a bit older, doing a bit of manual work or whatever, like I do with a lot of gardening and wheelbarrows and lawn mowing. And we can follow those bands up. Again, just create flexibility and movement in that joint. So important. Now I'm coming in from another band. I'm going to work in the very back of the big toe, and then working down there. Again, very interesting area to work. Of course, the camera, it's the problem with the GoPro, you can't actually see what you're doing while you're filming, but just getting it in there now. Again, just taking those deep breaths when you're working. So the key thing about doing self-massage is being able to both focus on what you're doing, but also breathing out what you're stirring up. Very important area right in here. Yeah, really intense. You can see I've got that little bump in my foot. So I forgot what it's called. It's yeah, I'm just missing it now. Fibroma, I think it's a. Yeah, and massage is supposed to help make it not so big, keep it from getting bigger, I should say. But so spending that time, as I say, this is such an important point. Big toes are so important too, and each time I'm able to get in deeper because it's not so painful, but I'm breathing out that charge that's creating that pain. I'm going to finish soon, but I'm going to show you some bands, and I might show you a picture of my son. So we just got these charts printed. I got a whole bunch of them ready to go. So if you want one, let me know. Email me, brandonraynor@gmail.com, and I'm happy to mail them out to you. Got 1,000 printed, so I need to move them. They're 50 Australian dollars each, plus postage. It works out, I don't know, 30, 40 American, 20, 30 pounds or something, euros. And I got these reflexology ones done too, so all about the feet. Great to put up on your wall. They'll help you to understand it more. You know, as I say, I do 2 for 90 Australian dollars plus postage, so that works out, you know, 15 bucks to Australia, 35 Australian dollars to America or Europe. Let me know, brandonraynor@gmail.com if you want some. Got plenty. And if you want to know what I've been up to for the last couple of weeks, because you haven't heard from me, it's mostly sitting in my massage chair holding my new son, Ephraim James Raynor. So pretty stoked. But yeah, I spent a lot of time doing that. I'll do a review of that massage chair in another video, because I spent so much time in it. He's a beautiful young lad, very sensitive, very cute, and yeah, I'm deeply in love with him, and it's pretty amazing, mind-blowing having a newborn child again. Yeah, so this is what I've been doing. So I probably won't make as many videos, but I'll try and see what I can do on some self-massage, and eventually as he gets a little bit bigger, do some baby massage videos or newborns. And of course keep my daughter in the picture as well. All right, good luck to y'all.